Watch. Joe Biden rambles incoherently, tells BET host he got arrested for being on the porch with the black family. I mean, this dude just makes stuff up. The media lops it up and believes every word of it, even though he gets caught time and time again lying about these type of events that never even happened. It's crazy, and it's sad watching this doddering old man in these interviews. I think the Democrat Party are really trying to push him out now. I don't see Biden making it the next couple of weeks. I think they're going to push him out. It already been leaks that Barack Obama has talked to him about coming out, about dropping out the race. It's sad watching this, but the Democrats, they did this to themselves. You can't blame anyone but themselves. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, but before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. All right, so let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from the Gateway Pundits, Christina Layla, and she reports that Joe Biden sat down for an interview with Black Entertainment Television, or BET, something that nobody really watches. I can't remember the last time I watched BET. Host Ed Gordon to pander to black voters. Joe, quote, "You ain't black." Biden is struggling with black voters as the 2024 election cycle goes into full swing. That's because the Democrats continue to promise black folk so many things, and every time during election season, it never fails. And then after that, we don't hear anything else from them. A lot of black people has woken up to this. They're leaving the Democrat plantation for greener pastures, and rightfully so. But meanwhile, President Trump is making inroads with blacks. Biden's interview with BET was a pathetic attempt to appeal to black voters. Biden rambled incoherently as he lied about his involvement in the civil rights movement. This is one of Biden's favorite lies. He has many. He said, quote, "I got involved in the civil rights movement." Unintelligible. At this point, Biden mumbled through a long-winded story about his dead parents, Barack Obama, and a train ride to Delaware. All of a sudden pivoted to a tall tale about his mom recalling a story about his childhood. Biden claimed his mom called him after Barack Obama chose him as his running mate, and recounted a story about how he got arrested for being on the porch with the black family when he was a teenager. So his mom called him? His mom was still alive when Barack Obama chose him? Are you kidding me? Joe Biden's mother also gushed over her son being the only white lifeguard at the pool. So let's just play the clip here and see exactly what he said about that. Let me get this clip ready here. All right. Okay, so here we go.
It's about why I got involved in the first place. Look, I got out of school, high school, and my state was segregated by law to its great shame in Delaware.
What did he say?
And I got involved in the civil rights movement. No great shakes, just sit-ins and, and things like that.
What?
And the end result of this was all the friends I made. For example, one of the guys who my mom talks about when Barack called me and saying he wanted to do a background check on me because he wanted to think of me as vice president. I said, I don't want to be vice president. And he said, no, there's only you and two others. I said, Barack, I can help you more as a senator. I really believe that. He said, no. He said, well, damn it, there's only you. And I said, Barack, I don't want to be vice president. And he said, well, go home and talk about it. He knows my parents, my mom, my dad's dead. So we had a meeting. I was on the train and then going back to Wilmington. And when I got home, we sat in the back porch, called the family together. My son was alive then, my two sons, my daughter. The only outside, other than the family members who was there, was Ted Kaufman. It was my best friend and was just sitting as stepped in as senator when I got elected vice president. And so we went around the room. The porch, what do you want to do? And my wife said, you ought to do it because if you don't, he's going to ask you to be Secretary of State and you'll be away all the time.
Oh, he
And
said
then
my wife.
son,
Said my mom,
as
then
Attorney
my
General,
wife.
should be sitting there, not me. And I said, Dad, you have an obligation, went through it. And so everybody made their case, and I still didn't want to do it. My mom was sitting against a railing, and over on the porch, there's like a story up from the ground. And I said, honey, you haven't said anything. She said, Joey, she said, remember when you were a kid? Remember when I called you when you got out of the race with Brock, and you asked me about him? You said, he's really bright, he's an honorable man, he'll make a good president. And I said, yeah, Mom, I remember that. I said, remember when you were a kid and they were desegregating Mayfield, the neighborhood we live, the neighboring neighborhood called Linfield? You were 14 or 15 years old. I told you not to go down there because there were people protesting. But you went down and you got arrested for being on the porch with a black family. And they brought you back home. I said, yeah, I remember that, Mom. She said, remember you had that job as a lifeguard in a country club setting? Did you want to be the only white guy to work in the East Side in the projects and the lifeguard? I said, yeah, Mom. So let me get this straight, honey. The first black man in history has a chance to be president. You told him no. That's how it's always been with me in the black community.
Wow. I don't know. I'm gonna have to fact check that if his mom was still alive when when Barack Obama asked him to be vice president. I'm not sure about that. That is wild. I'm gonna have to look into that. I really don't know, to be honest with you. But let's go back to this article here. All right. The article continued. This never happened. Biden was never arrested for being on a porch with a black family. Of course not. Biden never participated in the civil rights movement. He has told a version of this lie many times. In 1987, Joe Biden falsely claimed he marched in the civil rights movement and eventually dropped out of the presidential race because he got called out on the lies. Biden finally admitted he lied about marching in the civil rights movement. So let's just play that clip here. Here we go.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I did not march with a 12-point program. I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes. And we changed attitudes. When I was 17 years old, like many of you, I participated in sit-ins to desegregate the restaurants and movie houses of Wilmington, Delaware. I came out of the civil rights movement. I was one of those guys that sat in and marched and all that stuff.
There you go.
During the 60s, I was, in fact, very concerned about the civil rights movement. I was not an activist. I worked at an all-black swimming pool in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware. I was involved. I was involved in what they were thinking, what they were feeling. I was involved, but I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma. I was not anywhere else. I was a suburbanite kid who got a dose of exposure to what was happening to black Americans when I'm in my own city.
That's the truth, I believe. He really didn't have anything to do with it.
You know, when I was a teenager in Delaware, for real, I got involved in the civil rights movement. We have the 8th largest black population in America. Most people don't know that. And I'd go to 8 o'clock Mass, then I'd go to Reverend Herring's church where we'd meet in order to organize and figure where we were going to go, whether we were going to desegregate the Rialto movie theater or what we were going to do. I got my education for real in the black church. And that's not hyperbole, it's a fact. But I got my education, Reverend Doc, in the black church. Not a joke. Because when we used to get organized on Sundays to go out and desegregate movie theaters and things like that, we do it through the black church. I was no big shakes, Reverend, in the civil rights movement. I was just a kid. I got involved in desegregating movie theaters and helping, you may remember Reverend Moyer in Delaware and Herman Holloway organized voter registration drives, coming out of black churches on Sundays, figuring how we were going to move. In October, I was invited to the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis to receive the Freedom Award. A thing when I sat in black churches on the east side of Wilmington getting ready to, and by the way, next to two Jewish rabbis, getting ready to go out and desegregate movie theaters in Delaware. I never, ever thought in my life I would be worthy of, and I'm still not sure I'm worthy of it.
I mean, this guy just makes stuff up, and the media don't check him on it. And the thing is, he backtracked, and he said that he wasn't part of the movement. But then a few years later, he go back and said he was. Which one is it? Joe Biden also appeared to forget the name of his defense secretary. He called him black. He said, quote, "It's all about treating people with dignity." Biden told Ed Gordon, "I named the Secretary of Defense a black man." He couldn't remember Lloyd Austin's name. He's cooked. Yeah, I agree. He's cooked. The Democrats are definitely pushing him out. Again, I don't think he'll last 2 more weeks. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.